AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
Ever since Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got crowned the Democrats' shiny new hope for 2028, Bill Maher's been hammering the panic button like it's a side gig. He pulled the same fire alarm in 2024 when the DNC threw all their chips on Kamala Harris, got ignored, and we all saw how that train wreck ended. Now Maher's back, torch in hand, tearing holes in their next big gamble and practically begging the left not to blow it again. So if you want raw, unfiltered political chaos, subscribe now. Let's light it up.
What do you think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
Just days after AOC's name started floating around as Kamala Harris's potential replacement, things unravel fast. Instead of stepping up, AOC's been torching her own credibility with every baffling media appearance. From outlandish economic takes to rambling policy rants, she's raising more red flags and confidence. If this is who the Democrats are betting on for 2028, they might want to find a reset button, and fast, because the more she talks, the more voters are left wondering, is this really the best they've got?
Unemployment is low because everyone has 2 jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids.
Everybody's an idiot except for me.
Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world. When this country
It is the system that, unlike all the others, has lifted more people out of poverty over the course of human history than any other system.
Well, so I think that those things that you talk about, that you discuss, are part of the course of human evolution.
And this is exactly why voices like Bill Maher keep slamming the panic button on AOC. Strip away the fiery speeches, dramatic outrage, and endless social media spectacle, and there's not much substance underneath. She mistakes noise for influence and treats aggression as if it's real leadership. There's no depth, no clear vision, just a constant performance for likes. Not legacy. Maher's not guessing. He sees the writing on the wall. If Democrats pin their 2028 hopes on AOC, they're not just risking failure. They're inviting a political disaster.
This is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
Already, Democrats are hemorrhaging support as more of their base grows fed up with the party's obsession with woke politics. Biden didn't exactly wrap up his presidency with dignity. He limped out under a cloud of confusion, burnout, and broken promises. Kamala Harris made it worse with rambling speeches and muddled messages that pushed people away instead of pulling them in. AOC's doubling down on the same ideological echo chamber that's driving middle America to the exits. And if you're hoping Gavin Newsom or Tim Walz will swoop in to save the day, good luck. Their records are littered with scandals, hollow virtue signaling, and out-of-touch policies that repel more voters than they win over. Even loyal Democrats are drifting towards centrist independence or just tuning out altogether. The real problem isn't just the figureheads. It's an ideology cut off from economic reality, public safety, and basic common sense.
Don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
We'll get to where Bill Maher is headed in a moment, but first, let's unpack exactly what he's calling out. At the core is a deep, almost compulsive contempt from AOC and the progressive wing of the Democratic Party for America's core values. Maher doesn't hold back. He tears into their performative outrage, their obsession with identity politics, and their tendency to paint patriotism as prejudice. To this crowd, anything connected to Trump is instantly evil, even if it's good for the country. Tax breaks for working families must be racist. Border security? Clearly xenophobic. Energy independence? Obviously climate denial. It doesn't matter how practical or helpful an idea is. If Trump acted, they treat it like radioactive waste. And Maher, true to form, calls it what it is: ideological self-sabotage. The Democrats aren't just resisting Trump. They're rejecting reality itself. And in doing so, they're driving away everyday Americans who still believe this country is worth fighting for.
All the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much. Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America is just a big, ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
Sometimes I jump on Twitter, take one look at the feed, and immediately log off because the level of anti-American outrage is just insane. It's like an endless digital bonfire of bitterness, fueled by young liberals who seem to despise the very country that gave them the freedom to complain in the first place. They rip apart America's history, its values, its flag, painting it as some irredeemable villain instead of a place that gave them opportunity, free speech, and a quality of life most of the world can only dream about. I've traveled. I've seen countries beyond the U.S., and trust me, most don't even come close, whether it's freedom, opportunity, or prosperity. Yet these keyboard warriors think they're brave or enlightened for tearing down their own country. It's not bravery. It's clueless, entitled, and honestly, downright embarrassing. They're spitting on the very system that makes their endless rants possible.
72% of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land. But honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgments where they say, "I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe," I say either give it back or shut up.
Then there's a performative activism and shameless pandering from people like AOC. Everything she does feels like a scripted stage act, more about applause and votes than real leadership. She's carefully crafted this image of a scrappy working-class hero, but the facts tell a very different story. For starters, her real name is Sandy Ocasio, not exactly the revolutionary brand she sells. She actually grew up in a comfortable suburban neighborhood. Far from the gritty Bronx background, she loves to flaunt on the campaign trail. And that famous bartending story? Let's be honest, millions of students hold service jobs while in school. That's not some dramatic escape from poverty. It's just normal life for a lot of young people. Yet AOC wraps it up like she dragged herself out of the gutter, when she's really been playing a role of one of us while living a life worlds away from it. It's not authenticity, it's PR spin. And people are finally waking up to it.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
Compare the freedoms women have in America to much of the world, and the difference is staggering. Here, women can vote, own property, build careers in any field, what they want, drive wherever they like, and walk the streets without being treated like second-class citizens. They can run businesses, hold public office, speak freely, and shape their own futures. No permission slip required. That kind of independence is still just a dream in many parts of the world where women are silenced, restricted, or outright oppressed by culture and law. Yet somehow, AOC and her crowd want us to believe America hates women just because it won't bend to every demand of radical woke ideology. Disagreeing with extreme gender politics is a misogyny. Pushing back against ideological overreach is an oppression. The irony is wild. They cry about systemic sexism in a country that offers women more rights, security, and opportunity than almost anywhere else on earth.
Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is.
And when it comes to the relentless attacks on capitalism, the argument just doesn't hold up. Critics love to demonize the very system that built the most prosperous, innovative, and opportunity-rich nation on Earth. Sure, socialism and communism sound noble on paper. Equality for all, shared wealth, no poverty. But in the real world, they're economic black holes. History is littered with countries that chase those utopian dreams only to collapse under bloated bureaucracies, stagnant innovation, and crushed individual ambition. Look at Venezuela, Cuba, or the old Soviet Union. Resource-rich nations brimming with potential now reduce to cautionary tales. People literally risk everything to flee those failed systems for just a shot at the American dream. That alone speaks volumes. Capitalism, imperfect as it is, rewards hard work, fuels invention, and drives progress like no other system ever has. America shouldn't flirt with socialism. It should run full speed in the opposite direction. We don't need fantasy economics. We need systems that actually work and keep delivering real results.
Again, something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable privileged we are? Immigrants.
Yes, because immigrants know better than anyone just how much worse life can be outside America's borders. It's no accident that millions risk everything, limb, life, and liberty, just to reach this country. They cross scorching deserts, navigate dangerous waters, and endure brutal conditions, not for handouts, but for a shot at freedom, dignity, and opportunity. If America were truly the dystopian nightmare AOC and her ideological circle claim it is, why are people from every corner of the globe still fighting tooth and nail to get in? The answer's obvious. Even with its flaws, America remains a beacon of hope. Immigrants aren't chasing socialism or radical identity politics. They're chasing the American dream. They've actually lived under real oppression, so they understand freedom in a way many progressives refuse to grasp. That's why it's so absurd when privileged politicians trash this country from their taxpayer-funded offices. Immigrants value what so many here take for granted. America still delivers. In the end, the loudest critics of this nation are often the ones who've had it the easiest. Meanwhile, those who've known true hardship understand exactly why this country matters. So block out the noise. America isn't perfect, but it's still the world's best shot at liberty, opportunity, and hope. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching and see you next time.